Feeling bored, lethargic, sad? You may be experiencing cabin fever as we stay safe at home during this quarantine period. In this course, we will explain why cabin fever is directly related to coronavirus, what the symptoms are, its causes, and how are we going to prevent it.
Hi everyone, and join me in Cabin Fever 101. Are you feeling it?
Just a week ago, we were placed again under Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine or MECQ. We don't know when the series of quarantine will end, but one thing's for sure, that the safest place you could ever be is inside your home. However, because we have been shut down in a long period of time, now our refuge has now become our prison. Before we define cabin fever, let's first discover its history. Originally, it described the irritable feelings of people in America who were stuck in their cabins due to winter cold and snow. They can't get out because the road is full of snow and it's too dangerous for them to travel. They don't have phones, mail, email, social media, or anything else. Country people in those days often live in isolation for weeks or even months at a time. Their only social interactions were with the people they live with. Over time, people got restless and irritable. They felt sick with loneliness. No wonder why it was called a fever. Fast forward today, the pandemic has got us snowed in big time. Staying at home and separate from others is not something we expected or are used to. And that makes it all the more stressful. Cabin fever is what happens when we stay inside for a long period of time, which is currently happening in the most part of the world, prevalently in the Philippines. For the first few days, it's okay, but then it starts to get worse and worse each day. Initially, you're just bored. Then, the next thing you do is that you're sick and tired to be inside your home. You miss social interactions, gatherings. But what's worse is when you went crazy about being confined and everybody in the house starts to get in your nerves. You get easily pissed off, annoyed. It now starts affecting your mood. Symptoms of cabin fever go far beyond feeling bored or stuck at home. They're rooted in an intense feeling of isolation and may include the following:
Boredom, irritability, restlessness, impatience, anxiety, loneliness, hopelessness, and depression.
Although cabin fever is not a recognized psychological illness, its emotional, physical, and behavioral effects are real and they can significantly affect a person's quality of life. The effects of cabin fever may include the following:
Feeling unable to keep up with the daily or weekly routine, difficulty sleeping, sleeping too much, and difficulty concentrating.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, many people are self-isolating and adapting to a shelter-in-place restrictions. The shift from a socially active way of life to a more limited and isolated one can be enough to trigger cabin fever. Some factors that can cause or contribute to cabin fever include the following. First, feeling unable to connect physically with family and friends. Some of our kababayans are far from their family. Some have plans to go home or visit their loved ones but was suspended due to pandemic. Second, being unable to partake in activities that the person finds enjoyable or meaningful. With the social distancing and social gatherings restrictions, this won't be possible. Third, becoming burnout by work. Impacts of pandemic varies in business. There are some businesses that are highly in demand which results to more workload to their employees. Number 4, feeling unmotivated and lethargic due to having too little or no work. This is the counterpart of what we just discussed in number 3. The different impact of this pandemic to the businesses, the decrease of demand. The high restrictions will equal to less customers, equal to less to no work. Number 5. Becoming increasingly anxious about finances due to lack of income. As we all know naman that some jobs won't be possible to perform outside the office or the workplace. Finances suffers talaga, especially for those no work, no pay employees. So after laying down the symptoms, causes, and effects of cabin fever, let's now find out how we can cope to this distress. Here are 10 tips that can help people manage cabin fever and limit its psychological, physical, and behavioral effects. First, develop routines and stick to them. Developing and following a routine can help people feel in control of their situation. This sense of control can help brush off feelings of hopelessness and depression. Second, find a good work-life balance. People who are working from home for the first time may have difficulty finding a good work-life balance. While productivity can help brush off boredom, working too hard can lead to burnout. People should set aside time for non-work activities that they find enjoyable or relaxing. Third, follow a healthful diet. A healthful, balanced diet is important for mental as well as physical health. Sticking to set meal times can help a person establish a daily routine. Avoid skipping meals as this can destroy your routine. If it's lunchtime, log off from work and eat. Manage your time wisely. Fourth, stay physically active. You should aim to develop an exercise routine that you are able to perform in your home or garden. Regular exercise helps keep the body fit and boost your mood. Fifth, spend time in nature. Spending time in nature helps reduce stress and anxiety, and it can lift a person's mood. People who do not have access to a garden can still find ways to appreciate nature. Some examples include starting being a plant lady like Mika and take care of house plants. You can grow herbs. If you have a good view of sunrise or sunset, watch it from your window or balcony. Listen to birds and other wild animals. Or you can play with your dogs or cats or any pets that you have. Sixth, get the right amount of sleep. People should try to go to bed and wake up at reasonable hours. The amount of sleep that a person needs will vary among individuals. People should aim to wake up feeling refreshed and avoid napping throughout the day. 7. Connect with others virtually. Although people may be unable to meet in person, they can still connect through video calls, phone calls, or social media. Connecting with friends and family in this way will help brush you off feelings of loneliness and isolation. 8. Control the news consumption. Catching up with the news from time to time can be helpful for monitoring the COVID-19 situation. However, watching the news too frequently can trigger feelings of anxiety and depression. 9th, try to focus on the positives. One way to focus on the positives is to make a point of feeling and expressing gratitude every day. You may want to keep a written record, a journal of the things that you feel grateful for, and that you can reflect on them later. Some examples of gratitude may include you're being able to spend more time with your family. You have an extra time to be creative like Ma'am Lai. I can see the beautiful crafts she produced during the quarantine. And you have the time to learn a new hobby, finish an existing project. Like me, I learned many recipes already. Lastly, go easy on yourself. It can take time for a person to adapt to a new way of living. People should not be hard on themselves if they feel that they're not coping as well as they could. Instead, they should try to relax and focus on what they have managed to do successfully. Other tips and techniques to manage cabin fever is in the next video. Cabin fever is a state of mind that can develop when a person is confined to their home and unable to have social interaction. It may involve feelings of restlessness, irritability, or loneliness. These feelings can significantly affect a person's quality of life. You can manage cabin fever by developing a routine and finding ways to stay active and connected. Doing this can take time, and you should not be hard on yourself if you feel that you are not coping as well as you could.